Sorry, guys. I look a little messed up. Sorry, I'm messed up. Hold on. Ugh, boy, sorry. Technical difficulties. Because I was messing with stuff, sorry. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Oh,
There we go. Now I can hear you for sure. Now I will wait to see if I can hear myself.
okay. So we got the chat from YouTube and we got the chat from on Twitch. Hi, Twitch chat. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm trying out dual streaming, and I thought like maybe we could, stream the podcast
Okay,
on
there we
Twitch.
go. I could, yeah, I can hear everything now. Okay, great. Now
Awesome, awesome.
I'm hearing an endless echo of myself and you. There we go. Okay, now everything's muted on my part.
Hello, everybody.
Excuse me. Good lord. And now I'm coughing and I can't find my mute button. There's my mute button.
On YouTube as well. Yes, it is. It is also on YouTube. Hello, everybody. Hello, Twitch chat.
All right, there we go.
Are the chats synced up together on screen? Not on screen. Right now, I only have obviously Twitch chat up. I haven't gotten YouTube chat up. But don't worry, guys. We can still see you.
There we go. So yeah, I'll try to chat more on all the places.
It's just so weird. We're finally on Twitch. Hey. Right. Now, and sorry we didn't stream last Sunday because something came up for me, so I wasn't able to make it. But in that time, the news week was not disappointing, I just have to say. So, a lot's happened since last week, or 2 weeks ago, pretty much. Wait, a lot has happened. Good lord. I was like, whoa, okay. I'm trying to see where we left off last time, because...
Oh, in the notes?
Yeah.
Let me check. So it has been a wild, like, past couple of weeks. So basically it's like, okay, I think it was here. So yeah, so this is here. So it's like we have more people complaining about Starfield. It's like big whoop. Wizards of the Coast took down and basically bullied a Stardew Valley mod that featured all of the characters from Baldur's Gate 3, and they had gotten permission to do stuff. And then they got absolutely, I don't know what the term is, cajoinked or something like that, like just messed up by Wizards of the Coast. So that's a story. And then we do have, so I don't think we talked about this, the monetization that is now illegal in the UE. So that's, sorry, not UE, EU, good lord. So that's big. I don't think we talked about that the week before last. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's new.
Because it was the 30th, and then the week before that's the 25th. Yeah, so everything 25th and after. Actually, technically 23rd.
So was it? I wanted to like briefly talk about is a small story. The guy who made Split Fiction, apparently he made like before we get into anything deeper, he made like a little challenge for people to like complete a very like nightmare mode-esque level in what's it called? In Split Fiction. Duh, I just said that a couple seconds ago. But he was like, I'm gonna give you guys a really, really hard challenge, and there's gonna be like something special at the end. And so there's the first person to beat it, like they'll get a special reward. And so these YouTubers or streamers played the game on hard mode, and they were like the first ones to like beat the level. And they got this cute little video at the end where the creator of Split Fiction was like, "Congratulations on being the first people here, and because you did such a good job and you worked hard at it, uh, they'll be the first people to be invited to see their new project that they're working on." And I was like, "Ooh, that sounds so
Oh, that's
cool!"
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
then
awesome.
and it was actually juxtaposed against another developer who did something similar, where he was like, "If you guys beat this almost impossible challenge, I'll give you guys a reward." And the guy and every it was like a community effort, because it was an online multiplayer game where everyone like just was it you click at when you click on something, it like digs deeper into like this cube, and they're like, if you reach the center of the cube or something like that, you get a prize. And so there's this one guy who was like just dedicated to like trying to get that prize, and he made it to the center of the cube, and he won. And in the was it the video, the guy released a video uh in the game. Oh god, there's a pterodactyl in here. Hello. Give me a second.
A pterodactyl? What? Oh, yeah. Now I believe this story is Peter Molyneux. It's like the one who was it Peter Molyneux who did
I
the
think so.
yeah, okay.
Well, but like it was the guy was like, "Oh, you reached it. You're the first person to reach the center of the cube, and you'll get you'll get royalties for the next game that we work on. You'll get royalties, and you'll get, you know, money, and then you'll be like the god of this multiplayer game. So like everyone in the game going forward like will worship that one player as the god, and the god, quote unquote, will like control everything that happens in the game." And it sounded like such an ambitious, cool project, only for the company to be like, "Yeah, we shouldn't have made such promises. We didn't really make that big of a promise. It wasn't really that, you know, set in stone." And yeah, it was like, okay, it's just nice to see. It's just nice to see that there's developers out there who, like, you know, care about the community, but also kind of like realistic on how they want to, you know, communicate with gamers, like not go over the line. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't want to promise too much is what I mean. Sorry. When it comes to like interacting with their community. I just thought that was interesting. It just goes to show how good the creative for the creator for Split Fiction is actually a pretty decent dude.
Yeah. And he keeps his promises, and he's logical in his approach.
Yeah.
Whereas other developers and other leaders in the past have been, I don't want to say trash, but I mean, let's face it, some of them have been pretty trash. So
Yeah. Let's go. You're a dual streamer now. Thank you, Livesy. It was definitely a struggle. Oh, I thought the stream died. It did die because I started it, I messed up, and then I had to end it to fix some things. Sorry. Pleasure to see you. Hey, pleasure to see you too. Welcome in, everybody. But let's see what else. What else turmoil has the gaming community has gotten into? Okay, so there's actually been a lot of things that happened in the last 2 weeks. So apparently, was it after? Okay, Ubisoft again, because apparently we can't go 1 week without talking about Ubisoft. Ubisoft, after the release of was it Assassin's Creed Shadows, they apparently wanted Steam to hide the concurrent player count data. I wonder why.
I wonder why they could possibly have wanted that. That doesn't make any sense at all. Why would somebody do that? That's so weird.
Yep. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, we all know what happened. We all know what was going on
two
there.
2 million players. 2 million players are playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I wonder why they said 2 million
Um
players and not 2 million copies sold. Interesting.
it's one of those
Interesting.
things where they're definitely playing with words, and during this whole process, their stock price never went up. So you can say, "Oh yeah, we're having the greatest sale of, the greatest like launch ever," and then the people who are studying and getting access to the information, they're looking at that and they're going, "Yeah, but your numbers don't reflect that, so you're a bad investment." So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this was still during the time where they weren't yet partnered with Tencent,
Hmm.
quote unquote. It's like what Tencent has like what 40%, 50% stakes in Ubisoft now, and so they have like majority.
Well, no, so it's no, it's really messed up. And so I was talking with Ash. I was trying to explain this to Ash. Um, Ubisoft created a new company. So the family that runs and owns Ubisoft, they created a new company, and they transferred all of the IPs, all their most successful IPs, into that new company. And then they transferred a bunch of like tech and some other stuff, but not all the tech and not the engines and some other stuff. And now they essentially have two companies, and Tencent owns a stake in one of the companies, and then they own another stake in the other new company. But then the was it Del Moro or whatever, the Gizmo brothers, I think that's what it is. So the Gizmo
Christmas.
brothers own they now have like they've done what I kind of said that I thought they were going to do, is basically they like created a new company. um that I didn't see coming because I thought it was illegal. Like, I genuinely thought that this would be illegal. This is like really like they just rug pulled all their investors. I don't think there's not really a reason for you to invest in Ubisoft One anymore. Like, there's just not.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point to you investing in them, because they now own this everything, and they've shown that they'll just, if you're going to do a hostile takeover of company number one, then they'll let that happen, maybe, or maybe they'll keep fighting it, but then they'll just move everything from company one into company two, and they own company two. And then if that fails, then they'll make company number three and transfer everything over to company number three. And meanwhile, so it's like, it's flat out. You have absolutely zero point to investing in Ubisoft number one, because the only thing they own is some of the engine work. And if the engine goes belly up and they decide to go with a different engine, well, that company is now effectively defunct. It doesn't actually own anything that's producing income.
Hmm.
So they just vanish, I guess. And I this is one of the weirdest things I have ever seen in stocks. This is the most bizarre, abnormal, insane thing. What WTF is going on? This makes no sense. I don't understand what's happening. This is really like I understand what they're trying to do. I don't understand how they're getting away with it. That's what I mean. It's like I I'm sure there's going to be a couple of lawsuits over this, because there already is. But past that, I have just no clue.
Is
No clue what's going on.
did was it shareholders go through with the uh suing the Ubisoft? Because I know investors were like
Yeah,
threatening
but
it.
that's like a long process. Like, we're
Mm,
talking years.
true, true. Do you think
So
wouldn't that affect Tencent as well? But I think the shareholders would be happy with the Tencent. Would it be a merger? I don't know. Like,
it's not a merger. There's no merger.
so it's just Tencent just
It's a,
taking.
it's a reverse it's a reverse merger.
Reverse
And
merger.
the stockholders are for sure 100% not happy about this. They wanted to do a takeover of Ubisoft and get control of the company. Now they can't do that because all their stock is in company number 1. They don't have any stock in company number 2.
Mm,
Company number 2 is now purely owned by the Gizmo brothers and the and Tencent and maybe some other investors. Who knows?
mm,
And now they're like, oh yeah, and I don't know if they filed that one to be a public company or if it's a private company. If it's a private company, then again, they just took a whole bunch of things that were owned by a big company and split it between themselves and just have walked off with all the cash and all the IP and all the things that make cash, leaving the stockholders of Ubisoft One holding a proverbial bill that has absolutely no product. You showed up. You're like, hey, we're finally going to get some control over this company, and the company is sitting there going, yeah, you guys don't actually own anything anymore at all. We own everything, and yeah, that's just the way it's going to be going forward. And you're just sitting there going, you can't do that. They're like, well, we just did. Now you don't own anything. And you own a big empty warehouse that has a bunch of bills in it. So you got to pay all those bills. It's like, who's the bills to? Well, it's to our creditors and also a little bit to us and some other stuff. And yeah, it's fine. It's like, this is totally normal. This is the most, like I said, this is one of the most insane things I have ever heard. Like, this is genuinely, really amazingly shocking. Um,
mm.
that they've managed to go this route, that they're doing this. They're basically laughing in the face of all the people who were pushing against them. Now, do they create good games going forward, or do they create just more terrible games? That's the big question. Like
I
games
mean,
that are trash. Or I mean, I guess I will say that Assassin's Creed is not bottom barrel trash. It's not great. It's if you're wanting it, more advanced graphics, better storytelling, more like unique gameplay, compared to all their previous titles, better looking, all this kind of stuff. Congratulations, you're not getting any of those things. You're not getting a single thing from that. So, uh, good luck, I guess. It's like, so yeah, I, I don't know why they're allowed to do this. This doesn't make sense. Some people always said it's like, it's not fair. They built the company. It's not fair that some investors come in and steal the company out from under them. It's like, yes, congratulations. That's not fair in the sense that you're thinking of fairness. But I do have to warn you, and everybody else who thinks in any way, shape, or form that it's that what the Gume brothers are doing is totally fair, is that they took all that money that those investors gave them, and then they used that money to do stuff with, whether it was build a company or buy more yachts or
I
whatever
mean,
the
the
whatever the
the
process
the
was.
whole expectation with shareholders is that shareholders put money into the company expecting money back, but
Hmm.
they haven't been seeing that in like years.
Yeah, I mean, they're worth, if you invested $1 million into Ubisoft a couple of years ago at their height, at their peak, you've lost almost all of that money.
Ugh.
Like, it's really bad. And now again, I have to say this, for this is, should the Gume brothers lose Ubisoft? Yes, they should. You know why? Because they out sent they sold too much of their company off. They sold too
They
much of their
sold.
company off.
They even
If
gave away their
if
more was it their high IPs. Their more valuable IPs. They
well,
ended up.
they didn't give those away. They moved those
Oh
over
sure.
to the new Ubisoft
Oh yeah, they
company
didn't give
that
it
they own.
away. They didn't give away. Of course not. They just
So
moved it
so
somewhere else.
just So this is something that again, it's like this is what people really need to focus on. Is like they gave away all this money, or they gave away all this stock, all this control in their company,
Mm-hmm.
and then a hostile company came in and started to do a hostile takeover and started to kind of screw them over. And they're like, "Oh, it's not fair. We this is our company. This is our family company." It's like, yeah, but you gave it all away. Like
Yeah.
you handed it off to different people, and you took money for that. That's your mistake. And to anybody still who's an Ubisoft fan, it's absolutely unacceptable, 100,000% that you. It's like you going to the bank saying, "Yeah, I'm here to like I'm taking this check in," and you write a check to yourself for like $10 million. You cash it immediately, and then you go and you spend it all. And then the bank shows up and they're like, "Yeah, it turns out that you wrote that check. It came from you. We want the $10 million back." And they're like, "Oh, already spent it." Well, you're going to jail. "Oh, why are you discriminating against me? Why are you taking me to jail?" It's like, because you stole the money. That's essentially what's happened here. Is that they all these investors came, they handed the money, they said, "Okay, well, you get a portion of the stock," and then when all of the people show up and say, "Yeah, we want to take over everything and run things our way," and you sold us the company through stocks, we're now the majority shareholders. And then they go, "Oh, you can't do that. Okay, fine, we're gonna play dirty and we're not gonna let you have any of it." It's like it's the most scummiest, dirtiest, filthy thing. I like. It's so bad. and and again, they're somehow thinking or believing that this is completely acceptable behavior. And of course they're defendants and all the stupid people who still think that Ubisoft can do no wrong. It's like, oh yeah, they're all sitting here going, "Yes, this is exactly what we want. We want this, we want these companies, these shareholders to lose out in this particular case." I mean, there's a lot to be said about shareholders right now in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
but this is kind of like what we're facing at here. So, oh, it is really messed up. I don't know of
I
a
mean,
solution to fix this whole
most
mess.
some people say that the whole reason why games are as bad as they are currently is because they listen to shareholders' opinions over customers' opinions.
Hmm.
Is that true? Are they just skirting the blame, or is that true? Or is it the company's fault because they want to do their own thing, obviously, and not listening to the customers anyways?
Um, the the brothers are not the family that runs Ubisoft are not your friends. They haven't been your friends for a very long time.
Oh wow, the rich
They
entitled people are not our
they
friends. You could have
they
foreseen.
are selling you microtransactions in a single player game. If somebody's doing that to you, they hate you. They
Yeah.
hate you.
They
They
don't.
see you as a pay piggy, and that's it. And you would get more out of hiring. You get more by doing basically anything else. Like literally anything else. Like it's dirty. It's filthy. It's like, yeah, it's your entertainment. It's like, yeah, sure, okay, fine, whatever. So yeah, I don't have an easy answer for this other than it looks like this is a highly illegal maneuver that may actually get through because of some loophole shenanigans. They're definitely
Does it?
not keeping up with the spirit of the agreement.
Is it possible that they'll get away with it because they're like a foreign company? I'm pretty sure there might be maybe something against it in the U.S., but since it's in France and they're,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like, there's just there's so many like
I don't what,
loopholes with this stuff
yeah,
going on.
I don't know what the legal standing is in France. So in me,
So I don't
it
know. I
sounds
think
like
I think
weird.
this is I think this is one of these things where we sit back and we just watch.
Yeah.
It's clear that this whole thing has become an absolute
Can
mess.
I feel like it's gonna be a while before Ubisoft even finds like was it stable ground here because of
Hmm.
how much things have crumbled underneath them. But can Tencent be trusted to lead them in the right direction? Is the question here.
I don't. Well, I think anybody remanning at Ubisoft at this point is probably a better and smarter idea. Mostly due to the fact that it. I mean, it really is just a like they've had. I don't want to call monkeys running the asylum, but they've definitely had somebody running the asylum that is not. It's not good, right?
Mm.
Like it is genuinely not good that they have the current situation with what they have with the leadership and all of these very bad choices that have been going on for a very long time. Like they spent what, over a decade making the pirate game when all people wanted was just a simple like conversion, and then they charged like they called it the first quadruple A game ever made. It was absolute doggy doo doo, and we have better games that were made like, you
Oh
know,
yeah, do you remember the
15,
memes?
20 years ago.
Do you remember
Like
the memes
it's
of
an
everyone like they're
yeah.
like, if it's a quadruple game, I want to be able to taste the sea in my face. I want to be able to smell the pirate bo like
Hmm. Hmm.
because the way that they were saying it's gonna be the next best thing, and turns out it's just regular AAA slop that we always get.
Yeah, it was very sloppy. It was very gross. It was very bad. And again, they lost so much money on it. It's like they sank so much money into it. They didn't have a direction, and that just boils down to leadership. I could have anybody who had was passionate and understood games in at least a little bit would have done probably the following. After the Black Flag game came out and everybody was like begging for this standalone pirate game, it's like you take what's there in that game, you basically copy it over, you create a larger world, you create some concepts as far as like, you know, the ships having like, you know, having like trade routes, and then having like, you know, special fights, monster fights, maybe, maybe some trading mechanics. You keep it real simple, you don't do anything other than that, right? You stay within a smaller scope, you release the game for like $20 as a love letter to their community. You offer like you know, a season pass, or not a season pass. I hate season passes. You offer like a DLC for like a bunch of new ships and some new characters and some interesting like piratey aesthetic things. Like, do you remember when that whaling song became super huge on TikTok, and everybody was singing the whaling and the pirate
Oh
sea shanties?
yeah.
It's like you take that, you kind of run with that a little bit. You pay somebody to come up with some more sea shanties, and then you have some cool music that you add to the game, and then you start on the second one. And if you got enough traction on the previous version, then you go, hey, you know, we're launching the second game. Probably could have had 3 or 4 games come out by now. That every time there's a new game that's come out, you just upscale. Like there's just new stuff that you've upscaled, that you've taken what you've learned from the past, and you accelerated into something bigger. They probably would have one of the biggest like genres, or one of the biggest like IPs for that right now. And it would probably have been so good that you wouldn't have had all these other pirate games come out, because everybody was like, oh wow, like these guys are doing really really good. And like Sea of Thieves is great, like it really is. Like I don't play it, but I watched other people play it, and there's some really cool stuff that happens in the game, and yeah, just overall, anybody could have done a better job,
Mm.
especially anybody who knew what they were doing when it came to video games. You could have
Wait,
done
didn't they
a
put
thousand times better.
didn't they put people in charge of a game? Wait, I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember what I learned about the game. They put people in charge of it that were like not very equipped to even build it, unless I'm
Oh yeah, no,
mistaken
no,
about that.
it
Like
was
it it was supposed to be like a DLC for Black Flags, but then they just decided to
No,
make it
it was
a
supposed to be it
separate.
was supposed to be a standalone for Black Flag. It was just supposed to be a standalone. Like
Oh,
that's
I
what it
heard it was gonna
was.
be a DLC, but then they decided to make it into a full game or a
I'm
multiplayer
pretty
game,
sure
I
they
guess.
no, I'm pretty sure they meant to turn it into a full game that was outside of the regular scope of what they were currently working on.
Hmm. And
So
then like
so
who was even working on it that it came out this way? Because I feel like I think I heard that maybe
well,
it was
that's
like
the thing
people
is
who
that
weren't.
they've had it was in development for over a decade and going back and forth between different people trying to do different things, and it just failed. It was one monumental failure after another.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
don't know if they'll ever make Blood Dragon 2. I kind of doubt it. Stop that's asking in the YouTube. So so look,
I mean, I think they did a good
it,
job
I
with they came out with was it in Far Cry 6 there's a DLC where you can play like different. I guess it can kind of like dip into the nostalgia factor because in the DLC for Far Cry 6 you can play as the previous villains of the Far Cry games. And I'm a big Far Cry fan. So I love that so much because it has my favorite characters in it. But and they also that not only did it like you see things from their perspective, but they also have like in like new special ending scenes for like what happened to those characters after the events of Far Cry happened. And it's like they did something new, which I can appreciate, but it's also like I can kind of tell they're also playing on the nostalgia factor. And it's a little annoying because it's like, okay, so you can make good things. You can do that. You're just obviously choosing not to. And it's very, very frustrating to see all of this unfold, especially when you're a fan. Especially when you're a fan of
Mhm.
Ubisoft. Or at least when you're a fan of the series, let's be more specific. I'm a fan of the Far Cry series and the Assassin's Creed series, which I think Asmongold pointed out, which should have been like a really big red flag. He said, I don't like stealth games, but if I am interested in your game, I don't think you're making games for the original audience anymore. Because he says he hates, and I think he's totally right. I got into Assassin's Creed when they started implementing RPG mechanics. And guess what I am? A huge RPG fan. I love RPGs. So I should have clocked it that they were definitely going into a more not their typical audience, like the danger zone of them branching away from their original audience. I thought they were just trying something new, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. Obviously, I'm an RPG fan because, of course, I'd say of course, I'd say there's nothing wrong with them implementing RPG mechanics. But, like, that's the issue, isn't it? Like, they're turning away from their identity, you know? Like, yeah, the gameplay was pretty like this what is I wouldn't say there's much dynamics to stealth assassination, offing stuff. Like there's no real like you can do so much with that is but you can make very interesting stories to entice players. And that's what was in my opinion I think like made most of these games worth playing because yeah, you get and they sometimes also made it like really harder like later on in the series like when it came to like trying to assassinate certain characters in the game. They're like, oh, we can't keep doing the same thing, players are gonna get bored, so they start doing a little more, making it a little harder and stuff. But I'm rambling, but what I'm trying to say is that they had a certain identity. Yes, they were a stealth game, but they also focused on story. But the moment they started to deviate and capture other audiences' attention, that's when it became a problem because they were obviously they obviously weren't satisfied with the current audience that they had, and so they moved on to a new audience. And that's where things started to go downhill, because that was when they started implementing microtransactions. That was when they were trying to push more live service stores and stuff. When they started doing, all the BSery that you see now that's happening. It all started the moment that they made the decision to stop catering to their original audience. And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating to see, because I honestly thought that they could have done something good with it, with the RPG mechanics. I think they could have, because like I said, I'm biased. I'm a huge RPG fan, but I feel like they could have done more, and they could have done it better. But they just dropped the ball because, let's be honest, they didn't really care at that point. So all they cared about was making money. But like I said, it's just frustrating to see. And unfortunately, with the it's not a merger. It's not a merger, but with the partnership of Tencent, but Tencent is not really a partnership, because Tencent's always been a part of Ubisoft stocks or shareholders for years. They just have more stakes in the company now, so they have more say of what happens in the company. So Tencent and Ubisoft Tencent. Should we just call it that? Ubisoft Tencent, Tencent Ubisoft.
No, because there's if I were Tencent, I'd be really worried about my investment here, because they just invented a massive amount of money. Now, yes, if their next couple of games release...
I was gonna say, I think they it's a big investment, and what followed next, I think the reason it happened was because Tencent is making sure it is a worthwhile investment. So after Tencent and Ubisoft got into this deal, there have been mass firings at Ubisoft. Like, a lot of people are being let go. And people are saying that this is happening because of, or before it even happened, people were worried that the deal was going to affect their department, it was going to affect their job, and everyone was getting worried. And then the email came out that they're like, we want to make the company more agile. And apparently that's the new corporate speak of downsizing. When they say they want more agility, it means that they're trimming the fat, as in they're getting rid of people. They're getting rid of people that aren't necessary to the company. And this is what happens. We've been talking about company bloat for a while now, guys. Come on. We've been talking about it for a while. Are we really surprised that they're going to start, firing people at some point? Because company bloat is an issue. It is a problem, because you can't have a strong, cohesive story, or you can have decent gameplay, but when it comes to tightening the story, especially with triple A games nowadays, you need more focus. And when it's spread to 1,000 people working on one game, it's just you start losing trains of thought. You start losing what you were originally working on. So it's not surprising to me, at least. It actually makes a lot of sense that a company infected with too much bloat is going to start trimming the fat, as it were. They're going to start letting people go. Now, when this usually happens in AAA companies, it's just AAA companies are firing people because they want more money to go up to the higher ups, and then they start firing people so that the higher ups get more money, and that the people who worked on the game don't get that much money, is usually how it goes. But in this case with Tencent and Ubisoft, it feels like Tencent is taking the reins and taking actual control of what is going on in Ubisoft, because Ubisoft obviously cannot be trusted to run their own freaking company. And so They're taking the reins, and they're literally getting rid of the people they think are not doing a good job. In my opinion, I think they're getting rid of people who are not doing a good job. They're like, what have you done to contribute to this company? What have you done to contribute to this company? What have you been doing? You've been working here for 10 years. What have you been doing at this company? And it's like, oh, you just made passive comments here and there that didn't contribute to the game at all. You're fired. You're not, why are you here? Go away. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, some people, I know it's probably harsh for me to say, some people have jobs that don't actually contribute to what is going on in the company. There are
there's probably a lot of those people that are like sticking their head into the sand right now, going, no, I'm not listening, I'm not listening. So yeah,
like
highly likely.
There's a lot of I'm in a somewhat corporate somewhat corporate job, office job. So I'm aware that there are certain positions where they come up with a fancy name for their position, but they really just don't do anything. So it's like, why are you even, like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm the executive administrator over the filing cabinets. And it's like, okay, but what do you do? Oh, I just make sure that no one gets too close to the filing cabinets. Okay, why do we need someone to do that? Oh, because I'm the cousin of the CEO. I see. I see. It makes all sense now. Like, sometimes people come up with weird job titles and weird jobs in general just to have, like, a reason to be there, but really they just don't really contribute to the company. But it's not even just that. What if they actually were, like, lead directors of games? What if they were actual writers of the games? Again, not to be mean, but considering the state of Ubisoft and considering the state of the games, I don't think they were very good leaders, and I don't think they were very good writers. And honestly, if they are worth their weight in salt, Tencent, you know, I don't think Tencent would get rid of them. Like, if they are very valuable, like, I feel like Tencent would, you know, keep them around and stuff. It's just kind of funny that, like, when people are talking about, devs being laid off and stuff, they're usually the people who, like, are, like, very progressive, and they're like, I don't understand how I lost my job. It's like, well, maybe you didn't really contribute that much to the game, because, you know, you gotta put politics in it. You gotta desexualize female characters. You can't, it's a white man, we have to change him black. Like, it's just,
well, in this case, it was a Japanese guy that should have been the main story of this thing. Sorry, I was looking the other direction on my mic.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, it should have been. Well, in my opinion, they should have just had a character creator, and that should be the standard norm going forward.
I'm just sick of tired of them playing the stupid game of identity politics. I'm getting so freaking annoyed. I'm getting so annoyed with their BSery. They're like, oh, we just want a female character to be the main character of the game. Then do that. Just freaking have a female character be the main lead, and don't even put a male equivalent in there. Why do you feel the need to put a male equivalent? If you just want a female character, just have her, you freaking cowards. Ooh, you guys are such cowards. You piss me off with your BSery. Because every time, they're like, the female equivalent, like from Odyssey going forward, if there's a male and female main character, the male equivalent is not canon. Oh, thank you, Kiryu. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. The male variant isn't even canon. So it's like, why are they even there? Just make the female characters the main character. Why are we playing this song and dance? They're like, oh, well, no one's gonna play the game if it's just a female character. That's not true. There are so many games out there where it's just a female character. Like, there's Lara Croft. There's
Yeah, there's a lot of good. This argument has always been wrong and
Like
false.
there's Commander Shepard
If you
too. Like I
yeah, if
mean,
you
that's more
take
of an RPG,
if
but
yeah, but I mean, if you break it down into like art, like if you break it down into kids games, lots of kid games are like, um, are going to have a big mix of characters. A lot of kids games feature non-human characters too. It's like it's like Spyro. It's like Spyro isn't a gendered character. I would argue pretty hard that even like that Sonic is not really a gendered character.
I mean,
Like he
Samus,
is obviously, but
Samus a
it's not the
female
same.
character.
Yeah.
Bayonetta.
So if you look at RPGs, the balance is actually pretty well mixed. A lot of the sales and a lot of these where these numbers come from are things like shooter games, like predominantly like the big three, right? So you got
They
COD and
It's
and
because of the
um,
misconception that
Warfare and yeah,
males don't want to play female characters.
which is
That's
totally untrue because if
yeah,
you look at the player the character genders in like MMOs, it's always like in it's always either even or has a heavy dominance towards female.
yeah.
So that
Because
that complete that blows
surprisingly,
their argument out of the water, like completely.
surprisingly, and was it Stefan or Steven Luke? He said or is it Luke Steven? Gosh darn it! I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. Anyways, he said that a friend told him that if I'm gonna look at a booty all day, I might as well look at a woman's booty. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. I mean, I liked
And then
looking at the male booty, so that makes sense to me.
yeah, and like that is exceptionally common. Like I know a lot, a very large amount of character of people who play the reverse gender character or just have a big mix of characters. Like there's people who play, um, there are people who play like one of every like class and character mix type. Like that's literally their goal. They don't do like heavy end game stuff. They're just playing to have fun, and they just have like they've got like 47 characters, and they're all different. It's like that's not. You can't look at that and say, "Oh, that's male." No, no, that has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's completely out the loop. And in RPGs, especially in RPGs, it was never about that kind of stuff. That argument was completely fraudulent from the get go. Um, and and when people were asking, and like, hey, I'm on board with this argument. It's like, give me a character creator, give me the ability to like create my own character and have my own story. It's like there are a handful of cases where it's like, yeah, okay, so you want to have a Geralt of Rivia, it's like whatever, it's fine. But for the most part, I just want to play like some character that I make up. Like, I can't tell you how many characters I made in Skyrim over the years. Probably like several hundred, honestly. And that was fine. That was fun. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And
Yeah.
then you play other games, and it's like it's a fraudulent argument to say, oh yeah, no, we want XYZ of like this character, that character. It's like solve that problem just by adding a character creator. People can play whatever the frick they want. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to go to war over this kind of stuff. It's pointless. It's pointless when it's also pointless when you're aggravating this situation. You're aggravating um, users and people to fight with each other. It's like that's not good. You're not going to win with that kind of mentality. You're not going to
Mm.
make you're not going to make anybody love you anymore. Like it's just you're just going to cause problems. And that's what but and in some ways I'm convinced that that's what they're doing. They're doing that because they just want to cause problems. They don't actually care. Like a lot of
Yeah.
these people do not actually care a rip about what's going on in gaming. It's about control. It's about who has the ability to control what's being said, what's being talked about, who's doing what, who's saying what, all this kind of stuff. It's like it just boils down to who's in control and who can give
you
people
know,
more control. That
it gives
it's nightmarish.
women who write fan fiction, it gives them a bad name, because you have all these progressive writers, writing their fan fictions and putting them in games, and it gives us all a bad name. It's not fair. Like we there's actually decent writers out there who make good fan fiction, guys. It's actually possible to make good fan fiction. It is. They're out there. Just don't believe that all fan fiction is bad. It's just these certain writers are actually bad at writing fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just Becker Light says politics are important. They are saving the world. Quote, the first female character ever. That's what they're. It's just so frustrating because it's just hypocritical.
You do get that a lot.
It's hypocritical and disingenuous because they're like, oh, we want to make the first female character in the series, and it's like, well, there's a male variant. That's not the first female character because you can play as a male. Like, what does that mean? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just you're sharing the spotlight with a male, and yet the female's canon. It's like, so what? Why even give us the choice, dude? In Valhalla, the twist in the story, spoilers, the twist in the story is that even if you play the male version of the Viking dude, it's revealed that it's the female character this whole time. She just sees herself as a male character. And I'm like, what kind of twist is that? Just make it a female character, you freaking cowards. Oh my god, you hypocrites. You're pissing me off.
What is that? That's like so that's like full of hubris, right? Like that's obviously like a bunch of hubris of like, we don't care, we like, it doesn't matter what people are asking for or the story. It's completely bunk and garbage and stuff like this. But yeah, these people don't care. They're virtue signalers. They're saying, look at how special we are because of this. And then
aren't we great people?
It's like, yeah, aren't we great people while we market this game to children that has like heavy on-demand, high-pressure sales tactics into gambling mechanics? It's like, yes, of course you're special. You're so cool. I'm just like, I'm so impressed with you all because you're the smartest people in the room, clearly. Freaking vile scumbags. It's like, no. Let's not I'm not letting them get away with this absolute bunk garbage.
I don't even know if it's some kind of weird symbolism that they're trying to say about like maybe transgenderism or whatever. And you can tell stories like that, but the way that they freaking go about it is just so disingenuous. It's like, why even have the choice, It's just like it feels like they're like, haha, tricked you. You're playing a female the whole time and you wanted to play a male character, but it's actually a female character. Haha. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like some profound twist. That's not what it feels like. It feels like, haha, we tricked you, haha. And it's like,
who's the filmmaker that makes all the twists? M. Night Shyamalan. That guy. It's like that. He's like, oh, this is good plot. No, that's not plot. That's a twist.
That doesn't make sense. Well, it doesn't make sense.
No, this is definitely a plot twist. It's like, no, that's just a twist. That's not. There's no plot in what you're saying. It's like,
because it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't affect the story in any way. So what was the point of that?
Right, and it's like if you're telling a story and you're telling a story about like some kind of like glamour spell or effect, it's like that. Okay, I could get behind that. That totally makes sense. But if you're like talking about like how, oh yeah, at the end of the game turns out that it was you were playing this female all along, and haha, we basically we just told a story that was as good as Metroid, like the original Metroid, where it's like you play the game, you're playing Sam, you're going through, you're fighting, and then at the end it's revealed that actually Sam is called Samus. It's a girl, and it's like that blew my friends' minds. I don't know anybody who was like blown away by this stupid, clearly they made it up. Like clearly it's not what they are. it's just cheap, shoddy work. You're telling me you have like, your multi-billion dollar company, you can't make something that just makes a little bit more sense and it's a little bit more cohesive. And again, and you didn't need to, right? You didn't
That's
need to. Vikings invented the term shield maiden. And
yeah.
shield maidens were highly important throughout their culture, both culturally, but also when it came to battle. Because I don't know if you know this, but Vikings didn't have like a billion people to throw at like raiding. They were very small, extremely family oriented groups, and they needed to like, again, I'm not condoning the whole like pillaging thing, but their life revolved around like go to the mainlands, raid the coasts, take the women, and and some, maybe some slaves and stuff like that, and that's how they had to live. It's like, again, don't advise that kind of like behavior. It's obviously not good, but at the same time, it's like not all Scandinavians or Vikings were raiders and pillagers. It's like it was actually a pretty small percentage that resorted to that
It's
kind
just
of behavior.
it's just
But
it just comes back to my point. It's just like, what was the point? Just make her the main character. Like, I don't
mhm.
understand why that was necessary. It's just make her the main character, and it wouldn't have been such. Maybe that's the point, because it wouldn't have been such a plot twist if she was just the main character. But no, we had to make some kind of statement, huh? Can't just freaking help ourselves. No. Good lord, the arrogance of these people sometimes. Never mind, they're French. I can imagine. I can imagine them being this arrogant. I don't know what's going on with
Yeah,
France, dude.
it's it's how they've been for like a couple hundred years.
Yeah, you'd think they become a little more humble. My bad. My bad.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's a funny situation. But I'm honestly tired to death of talking about the insanity of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating because, and again, like, so there's this post made by a legendary game developer who goes, he's sorry that there's a, intense people make a big fuss. um that's the English translated quote. um I don't think that's he doesn't really understand what's going on here, like in the perspective of him. And I'll say that like point blank. It's like there's a lot of Japanese developers who aren't on Twitter and who don't listen to like or they just don't use a translator, so they don't hear what's going on, and they get sidewinded by these social things like really easily. Like this has happened a lot,
Mm.
and it's very aggressive, and it's happened to crazy, like the amount of artists, Japanese artists, who've been caught up in the most ridiculous like Twitter dramas in the last like not even like a
Uh.
long time ago, like in the last like 8 months, has been like really bad and really really aggressive, and people go after them as if they're like they're fully aware of what's going on. It's like most people in general don't spend all day on Twitter reading everything and being toxic, hyperactive Karens.
Yeah.
And what's the male variant of Karens? I don't want to forget those. Is it,
Darren's or something like that.
I don't think it's Darren's. I think it starts with a K. It's like Keith's or something like that.
Keys.
Which I know a lot of Keiths, and none of them act like a Karen.
None of them are Darren's. Sorry.
Yeah, I know a lot of Darrens too, and I can't think of a
Hi,
single one
lazy clay
that behaves
gamer.
like this. Um, but just in general, it's like they're not fully up to date on a lot of the controversy. Some of them are, but most of them are not. And so when they see this, what they're seeing is like, they're not really getting the whole picture of like all of the stuff that's going on. They're not fully aware and fully invested in what's in the fights that are actually happening. And if they were, they tend to get upset. I remember I've worked with a lot of Japanese developers over the years, and I'll sit down and I'll explain to them like something that's going on in the pulp culture, or in the like the woke versus based kind of stuff, and they're horrified when they finally understand it. They're like, oh my goodness, like
Yeah.
Like people are insane. Like that's usually their first thing is like, can these people like calm down? Can they go outside and go for a walk? It's like, yeah, don't tell them to do that. Like don't tell them to touch grass because they will literally lose their mind even more over that. So don't
Yeah.
no, please don't do that. That's not a good idea.
That
But
actually
it happens a lot,
it
right?
actually reminds me of a good point that someone actually pointed out. So, we're obviously leaning towards the Japanese social community when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows and like their perspective on it. Um, it's a weird thing because um I watched a video and a guy explained how even though in the West we're pushing back against Assassin's Creed Shadows, we're pointing out all the inaccuracies and how much, people care about Japan in the West. But then we have politicians. You guys may have heard that some Japanese politicians had brought it up during a oh gosh, I don't know what you call it, a cabinet meeting. I'm using American terms. I don't know if that's what they call it in Japan, where they have like this big government meeting with the prime minister, and
Hmm.
they brought up how Assassin's Creed like is like very disrespectful to Japan, and people are saying it's not in the way that we Americans had thought it was. He was using it as a way of saying like it's a form of anti foreigner uh sentiment going on in Japan right now. And I was like, oh no. Because if you guys aren't aware, there's a lot of tourism issues right now in Japan where a lot of tourists are being very disrespectful in Japan. They're like leaving trash everywhere. There was this one unfortunate incident where there was a very beautiful picturesque shrine in the middle of the I can't remember in the ocean or if it's in was a big lake, and it was so beautiful, and they closed it off and they stopped people from visiting it because someone took a dookie on the shrine. And I was like, oh my god, because for a fact it wasn't a Japanese person who did that. I was like, oh no. There's a lot of anti-foreigner or anti-tourist uh sentiment going on in Japan right now, where it's getting pretty heated now, especially with streamers, dude. Streamers in
Yeah,
Japan.
thanks, Jolly Somali, you piece of.
It's not just him. There's some arrogant. I guess they followed his example because there's these arrogant streamers who go to Japan and just harass people in Japan. And it's so frustrating
Hmm.
because the Japanese people are such they're very they have this their society is built on this understanding of not doing much to stand out and to just go about your day with not bothering everybody, not bothering other people. That is a staple of their society. And then you have loud Americans coming to quiet, beautiful Japan. Here I am glazing Japan, but it's like they come to Japan doing American things, like stuff in New York. Like Americans from New York go to Japan and start throwing things in the subway, and it's like that's not. You can do that in America apparently, but you can't do that in a foreign country. It's like that's a different place. You think they'd have a little more respect because they're in a different country, but no, apparently not. So now there's a lot of people are pushing back against tourism in Japan, and now with Assassin's Creed coming out, people are using it as an example of why I don't know, like, oh, media's promoting hate against Japanese or hate against Japan, and it's like that's not true. Plus, it's a French company who was doing that. It wasn't even us, to say the least. But we've been causing issues, Americans specifically. But we've been causing issues. So I don't know what's gonna go on moving forward. But it's in a weird we're in a weird state right now. I just hate Assassin's Creed Shadows because it's blatantly racist in my opinion, and yeah, I don't like it at all. Oh yeah, guess what, Saib? They never took out the hip hop, disco, whatever you call it, that futuristic uh music.
because
They never took
because
it out.
because when you're looking at
Because when you play a black
historical
man,
hundreds of years ago black man, you have to take the modern equivalent of a microcosm of their culture, which is what it is.
you gotta put
you
hip
if
hop and
you
rap in it.
and yeah, you're not going to find a lot of rap in Africa.
Let
Right?
me
You're
ask
not
you
going to
this.
find a lot of rap in the Middle East, where there's a lot of like, you know, yeah, you're just not going to find a lot of that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they would have put hip hop music in the game if Yasuke was not in it? Do you think they would have still put the hip hop music in the game? I don't think
Say that
they.
again.
Oh, do you think they would have still put the hip hop music in the game if Yasuke was never in the game?
Oh yeah, no, that wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm a hater of like cross genre music. I'm not. I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to a lot of like cool mixes. I'm always interested in finding a new mix of music. Um, but this is like it's clearly like a joke. Like in not a joke as in like, they're intentionally trying to make fun of it, but they're mocking it by not realizing how insensitive they are. And they're being incredibly racist, I would say, because again, they don't the majority of the people who made this game aren't from either one of those cultures by a very large stretch of the imagination. And is instead of being like, trying to be a good steward of something that's very popular and in high demand, instead of doing that, they treat it like they treat it like they're a savior coming in to save these people, which I don't think anybody likes,
No,
especially not a people group that's dealing with that kind of stuff.
it's like they don't need to be saves. They need to save themselves. They whatever issues they're going through, they need to figure it out themselves.
Yeah, clearly.
Like no one no one likes to be lectured at. They're like, "Oh, you're doing this wrong. Oh, you're doing that wrong." No one likes that. It's only when they realize, "Hey, we got a problem," that they start actually maybe taking advice from other people and then try fixing whatever's going on with them. Like it's only like what they say. The first step is admitting that there's a problem. Until they admit that there are problems going on, then maybe they'll actually listen. But they're not. No one likes to. Until then, no one likes to be lectured at all.
Hmm.
And plus, sometimes, let's be honest here, the advice that they give is not even good advice. So why should I even take advice from you? Like, it's just I can't believe it's gotten this far. This is crazy, dude. After Ghost of Tsushima came out, how is this even happening? It's just insanity to me. Um, but we should probably uh oh right. Oh right. Still want to get on to the just a little bit more, about Ubisoft. We do have other stories to talk about, guys. Trust me, we have other stories to talk about. But one more information that I got about Ubisoft was during their campaign for, releasing AC Shadows and to entice people into playing the game, they spent $2 million trying to get streamers to promote their game. And then they banned a VTuber. Hi, I'm a VTuber. They've banned a VTuber they hired to promote the game, only to find out that because she started streaming the game earlier than the contract said for her to play the game, and so Twitch banned her for like breaking the contract or whatever, only to find out that she was actually right. She was streaming at the right time. It's just that Ubisoft gave her the wrong time. They didn't use the proper time for her to stream the game.
Because they're idiots who don't know basic like conversion of timing. Anything.
Yeah, that was good lord. This is the company we're dealing with.
I hate to say it, but they really are garbage at their job.
Yeah. And then not only that, they paid companies that don't even cover game coverage. They paid journalists who don't even cover games. They paid Top Gear. It's a magazine for cars. They paid Top Gear to run 2 articles about Assassin's Creed. Top Gear. It's a freaking car magazine. There was another magazine, but I forgot what it was called. Not gonna lie, I forgot which other magazine it was called. But good lord, like, they are desperate. That does not smell like a successful game. That smells like a very desperate game that you're literally going outside of the gaming sphere just to garner some type of interest, dude. It's ridiculous in my opinion. Sorry, I was like gonna say in my perspective. I think it's just really freaking crazy. I could understand, Lazy Clay Gamer says, I could understand games like Saints Row 1 and 2, Def Jam 1 and 2, and GTA San Andreas having hip-hop and rap music, giving the context of the series. But AC Shadows, that's a different story entirely. Yeah, like, they didn't have hip-hop back then, guys. Come on. They didn't have hip-hop back then. Just because it's wrapped in Japanese doesn't make it better. The stream is lagging from time to time, by the way. Yeah, I know it is. I think it's because, hold on. Let me see if I can get out of something. Yeah. I think I know why. It's probably because I'm switching through the windows a lot. That might be the reason why. But hopefully if I stop doing that, it'll stop lagging. Hold on. Let me see if I can just pull it up on my phone. Because I was looking at the notes. Let me see. Is that, no, we already talked about that. Oh yeah, there's also, like, yellow paint. So they use the apparently the dreaded yellow paint indicators in the game because apparently the environment is lush and full and giving a bit of guidance was needed apparently. So they had to use it, guys. They had to. People kept getting lost in the game and they didn't know where to go. So they had to put it in the game.
It's such lazy copy pasted conceptual game design. It's terrible.
They're saying that director says the dreaded yellow paint was only added because players were really struggling in playtests. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I can't tell. Oh wait, did Ash want to come on here to talk about the Nintendo stuff?
That's a good question.
Okay, I think we covered everything on Ubisoft so far.
Yes, please. I want to be done with this subject. I'm
Did you want to talk?
I'm genuinely starting to hate them so much.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the the Wizards of the Coast stuff?
Well, there's not a whole lot to talk about other than the stupidity of Wizards of the Coast. They there's a modder who makes stuff for Stardew Valley. He or she, I'm not sure which, or they, I don't know if it's like how many people are involved, but they ask like, hey, can we make a Stardew Valley mod that has all the characters from Baldur's Gate 3 in it? We want to create this like very nice, homely, like kind environment and have all this fun with the characters. And Seb goes, that is a brilliant idea. I'll check with legal. double check everything. He comes back. He goes, "Go ahead. This is awesome. This is what we love to see, even in mods. Coming from other content." The mod drops, becomes quite popular, and immediately Wizards of the Coast steps in and nukes it, and sends a cease and desist. Gets their lawyers on it without ever having checked to see if they had already given
Uh,
approval for this mod, which
and
they had
and for
through
people who
Sev.
don't know, Wizards of the Coast owns the D&D IP, and Baldur's Gate is a part of the D&D series. Like that's actually
Yeah.
like an actual, was it city in the D&D lore. Anyways, sorry.
Mhm.
Just wanted to clarify in case people were confused.
So
Oh,
yeah, it is an absolute garbage
so
crap show, I
yeah.
guess you could say. It's very, very, very,
I
very
mean,
bad.
are we really
They
surprised?
apologized. They said, oh, "Okay, oh, we're so sorry. We're not gonna,
Yeah, after
we're gonna reverse
Sven,
this takedown. We're so sorry." But it's like you absolute and utter fools. You don't even know what you're doing.
like,
And then
okay,
it gets worse. It gets worse because um, apparently, if you like D&D, apparently 90% of the people working on D&D have been fired.
what?
So yeah, let that sink in. They Wizards of the Coast is so dumb and so stupid, and they have no clue on how to run any of their IPs and stuff like that, that they are literally driving D&D into the ground. Oh, it's just so brilliant.
Now, I want you guys to understand how bad this is. Wizards of the Coast was trying to copyright D&D. Like, if you had any they when D&D tabletop got onto the scene for streaming and for YouTube, and they realized how lucrative it was. I think it was around the time when they were losing money. They decided to copyright D&D so that they can get a slice of that delicious pie, only to receive a lot of backlash because that wasn't fair. And plus, like, was it was like more of a creative art form at that point, because most of the stories was loosely based on the stories that they came up with. But then tabletop RPGs are so fun is because of all the random shit that you can like add to it, and like you can do in the game. Like that's the whole point of it. So it's like it's like a, was it it's not even copyright at that point, because it's its own uh what do you call it? What do you call Not creative. It's when you like change it from one thing to another.
It's transformative.
Yeah, transformative.
Yeah, it falls under fair use.
Yeah, and it's like,
Typically, like I wouldn't want to like take it to like a court thing. I wouldn't want to do it without permission, but that's why they got permission, and they got permission, and and then and by the way, that's
and it
what's
wasn't even,
ran and created.
and it wasn't e-
Just the everything to do with D&D has been community creation and conceptual work back and forth. This has been the primary thing fueling all of D&D for decades. And then these idiots who have no understanding, no clue, no concept of like how to make this stuff work properly. These guys come in and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna turn this into a cash cow." They don't do anything that people have been asking them to do for money. Um, Ash can't make it, by the way.
oh.
Um, so it's been an absolute travesty. It has been an absolute travesty of like what everything everybody's been working on, what can potentially be there in the future. It's just,
Oh yeah, and the Wizards of the Coast has been going downhill because, surprise surprise, people have been making decisions to change the whole gaming sphere of D&D, into a woke nightmare. Like literally, it's all progressive stuff that doesn't even make sense, and like some of like
Yeah, they
you're
took
not
out
even
half elves.
you're not even allowed to
Like
be a mixed race anymore.
yeah, you can't mix race, guys. Oh, that's racist. It's like no, that's
Saying
you who's doing that.
saying you
Like
can't mix races is racist. Like what? You gotta keep the bloodline pure.
yeah, it's
Good
absolute
lord.
it's absolute insanity. And again, it's like how are people this dumb? Like how are people this stupid? Like how are these people running this company and going, "Oh yeah, just so you know, like we're embracing we're embracing the clans like concept of like how society should run. No more race mixing." It's like, what is
Hey,
wrong with you?
hey
No,
guys,
no. We're
let's
the ones who are
bring
the
back.
pure ones. We're the ones who are saving people. You know,
We
when
need to
you look at
protect.
a half pig orc, like these, like they don't have a human, any kind of a humanoid head. They're monsters. They they do terrible things. They make the Reavers from the
Reavers.
Serenity Reavers, yes,
Reavers.
not you Reaver,
Oh.
not you Reaver, the Reavers from the Serenity slash Firefly universe. They make those people look like, you know, nice people. That's what orcs are. Orcs aren't the, you know, like the mildly green skin, mostly humanoid looking characters. No, those are half orcs. But when you look at orcs, you know, pig monsters who do horrendously evil things, and you go, you know who that reminds me of? All the minorities that I'm surrounded with on a daily basis. That's who you might just be the actual racist. Just throwing that out there. You might actually be the serious problem. You might be the absolute giant piece of garbage that needs to be that needs to be removed from polite culture. In like just like asked to leave because you are
And
doing like just like that's so racist. That's so vile.
like
Oh,
it's just
I'm sick
annoying.
of these people.
It's annoying because they take fantasy racism and then they're like, "Oh my god, it's an allegory for IRL racism." And it's like it's not the same. I mean, yeah, it's racism anyways, but it's like it's not the the orcs aren't minorities. The orcs aren't minorities. Like that. It's just I don't know what their need is that they need to be like, oh, that fantasy thing is based off of IRL sociological stuff that happens. Like we gotta make the connection here and there. Like Harry Potter, there are so many connections to society and muggles and wizards, and it's like, why are you? That's not the that. Yes, there's discrimination in Harry Potter universe, but it's like it's not the same. It's not the same. It's like classism of magic users against humans. It's like that's not this. And then again, there's like also like humans. Like wait, wasn't there like wizards and witches who were born in like a human family, and then they have to like go to Hogwarts? Was that a thing? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Was
that's the whole premise for the Muggles.
yeah, that like they were like born to a mostly human family, and then they had discovered that they had magic and got invited to Hogwarts, and then they're discriminated against. And it's like, oh, it's allegory for racism, and it's like not everything is a allegory for IRL racism. Yes, there's discrimination. Technically, there's discrimination everywhere. That doesn't mean like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it's not. I don't know why they keep doing that. It's like the only way that they connect to a story if it's like IRL bad things happening. And it's like it's just yeah, I was going to say something but I didn't want to get too into it. But yeah, it's just they're not making the story better by doing this. They're not making themselves any better by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just no wonder they're losing money. They're losing money because they're was it disassociating from the plot. Like they're disassociating from their own IP. Like no one made orcs with the intention of them being some kind of allegory for minorities. That was not the point. That was not the point. Honestly, the only reason it got that far is because they were taking orcs from the Lord of the Rings. They're taking... It wasn't even D&D. It was Lord of the Rings. They saw the orcs in the Lord of the Rings movie franchise, and they were like, oh, orcs are the only dark-skinned creatures in the whole series. That's racist. And it's like... There were elves. They were twisted by dark magic. Why would you assume that they're minorities? Like, why was that the 2 and 2 you came to? Like, what?
Because these people are desperate to find some kind of way that they can like save humanity, because they're not. And again, this comes from a deeply like selfish, narcissistic place and mind. Like, you have to be a psychopath to go, you know what I need to do? I need to save humanity by introducing new things that will cause division and hatred. Because that's what we've did. Like a whole bunch of like case studies, like long-term studies are out. All of these things that people think are helping the whole situation, turns out that they've only been helping one group of people, and it's essentially the Karens.
Oh yeah.
So like none of this stuff helps anybody who actually has anything to lose or has anything to like that are desperate for like, you know, needing something or needing like help. It's like the vast majority of cases, the extreme stuff, that's what I'm saying. The extreme stuff doesn't help.
So
you know what helps? Treating each other like we're people. Like sitting down to talk about things. And that's not what's going on here. There's no conversation being had about the validity of like orc racism. Like there's no conversations being had about that. Like maybe they had a short 15-minute one before they decided to like name orcs as like, you know, the new godsend people because they remind them so much of minorities. Like maybe there was a meeting in was the Coast about that where they're like, some guy just got off the phone with the clan and he's like, the Grand Cyclops just informed me that, we really need to bring segregation back. We gotta make sure that there's no more race mixing. I think that's an actual thing in the KKK are the weirdest, most like deranged group of people on the planet. It's really messed up. But yeah, it's like followed very shortly by extreme Karens who want to restructure society in their image.
So I just wanted to go into detail about what you mentioned earlier. What Saib is referencing is that they actually did a statistic on DEI programs, equity and inclusion. What was the diversity, equity. God damn it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in every single company for the last 10 years. They've been doing statistical research, and it has shown that minorities, the percentage of minorities in companies, even though it has a DEI program to help promote minorities in the workplace, the percentages stayed the same. So if you had for 10 years, the percentages stayed the same. So if you had a company with was it 3%? 3% minorities, 10 years after DEI initiatives, it is still at 3%. It has not changed in the last 10 years. But for white women, specifically, in the last 10 years, with DEI initiatives, it has risen from like, was it 20% to 64%, all across the board, white women. It only
Shocking.
helped, DEIs only help promote white women. And guess what? Most of those white women are narcissistic a-holes who have like a power trip issues. It was like, wow, who could have foreseen that people who have narcissistic tendencies took advantage of these initiatives? But yeah, that's what. So it turns out DEI doesn't help anybody at all, except white women Karens. So that's great. Who want to police games and police our fun all the time. We can't have anything nice. Uh, wait, what? Well, what is Lazy Clay Gamer saying about like getting a PC?
So he asked the question, interesting question for everyone. Which of the four platforms is the lesser evil? PC, Xbox, PS, or Nintendo? And yeah, definitely PC. That's what I answered him. And then he question. I can definitely see where you're coming. In fact, I'm trying to save up for so I can upgrade my PC. Hopefully, I can accomplish it this year. Hopefully, yes. That would be good. That would be nice.
Yeah, I was a Xbox I was an Xbox main girl for a good couple years, but then I realized there were a lot of games I didn't have access to on the PC. And not only that, I can also play Xbox games that were on Xbox on PC as well. So it's like, why not just get a PC? Because everything's on PC now. And since they stopped making Xbox hardware and Xbox just focused on making putting everything on PC, everything's on PC now. So I can't wait. I can't wait for they said that they're moving all the Xbox exclusives onto like PC and PlayStation, I think. And so yeah, they're giving more access to video games. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Speaking of love to see it, guess what is happening in Europe at least? Come on, guess. Come on, guess, guys. What's happening in Europe? That's like the best thing to ever hear about. Guess what's happening?
Best thing to ever. Oh, have they have they reinstated my family lineage and surrendered the crown back to me?
No, no.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
oh.
no. Uh,
Sorry. Then did they get rid of loot boxes in video gaming?
yes, they finally implemented
Oh
laws
wow, that's
to
amazing.
get rid of loot boxes, at least in Europe. I gotta keep emphasizing that because, of course, it's gonna be a while before that tracks in America. But I am excited. I am so excited. It's finally here. It's happening, guys. It's happening. We're getting some good news here, guys. This is great. This is amazing. This is spectacular. I can't believe. I'm just PC Mastery is finally taking over. Smoking Naralucha, welcome in first time chatter. We appreciate it. I'm just so it just feels good, you know? At least something good is happening. I mean, not this isn't the only thing. Gaming is finally getting its head out of its butt, and they're actually starting to correct course. They're trying to, was it not have poopy games. And then this comes out. They're finally implementing a ban on loot boxes, and it's amazing. It's great. And if I remember correctly from the news, it says that that they were making it so that like if you do have microtransactions in the game, you have to state that you have microtransactions in your game. You have to state how like the like was it? Oh God, I got a brain fart. Oh no, I lost my train of thought. Uh,
They've got rid of like a whole bunch of like it's not just the loot boxes, it's buying of the multiple tiers of
oh yeah.
in-game currency.
Uh, there are also now a lot more limitations of microtransactions. Exactly. They're getting also getting rid of yeah, the like the multiple currency because dude, okay, so I was playing Wuthering Waves. That's one of the gacha games, that came out recently, and I got attracted to one of the husbandos. Of course I did. And I wanted to get the husbando character. And so I went through the shop. It had so much different you fool. You fool. I had so much I there were so many currencies that I would have to purchase in order to get so this is how they set up the store. They're like, you need you need this much you need this much crystals to purchase an orb, and you need this many orbs in order to purchase a ticket, and then you need this many tickets in order to try to pull for a 50-50 chance of getting the husbando. And I was like, okay, so you want me to pay for crystals and then pay enough crystals to get orbs and then pay enough orbs to get tickets and maybe even paying a little more to get enough tickets for a 50-50 pull. That is rigged against me, might I add. Most gacha games are rigged against you. When it comes to pulling characters, they are rigged to get. So my fail rate would be at least 60%, maybe 70%, 80%. Like, you have no idea how rigged these gacha pulls are. So it's not even a 50-50. It's not even a 50-50. I am more likely to fail than to succeed in these roles. So I'm like, I did the calculations. They wanted me to spend $200 to $500 in the chance that I would get my husbando. And I was like, I'm not playing this game anymore. I literally played it for like 4 to 6 hours. And the moment I got to the store and I did the calculations and I realized how much they wanted me to spend just for the chance, which is rigged against me, might I add, the sliver of a chance to get the husbando that I wanted, I was like, I'm done, I'm out. I do not make that much money, dude. Like, I do not make that much money. I make enough to pay the bills. Like, no. That was like, no. That's like, no. We're not doing that. I'm a broke bitch. We're not doing that. I'm not someone who's sitting on millions of dollars who can just spend it like money. Oh, sorry, not spend it like money. Spend it like water. All right. I'm not that type of person. Gotcha is cancer 100%, dude. It's crazy. Like, yeah, there's no way. There was no way.
It is genuine. It is genuinely, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That there's so much of this going on. That it's been like this for so long, and like, yeah, it sucks. It really does.
And I heard there was rumors that like when they first release characters, they're like really OP, but then after a while they get nerfed to the point where
standard thing where it's like, oh, you want to stay on top of stuff? Oh, well, you gotta buy the new character. Oh, you bought the new character last week. Well, guess what? You thought they were gonna be like really overpowered and strong and maintain like really really great field control and do all this kind of stuff. Well, we just nerfed that into the ground. So now you have to buy new characters.
Yeah,
it's terrible. It's
like,
vile.
And they know how attached gamers can get to their favorite character, so they're like, oh, you can upgrade your character, you can even upgrade the weapon, but you're gonna have to grind. Unless you want to pay that 250. You want to pay that 250 for some upgrade points where you can just, instead of grinding for 60 hours to upgrade to one level of your gear, why don't you pay just maybe $20 just to upgrade to like level 3. Maybe you want to pay like $50 to upgrade to level 4. Why don't you pay $60? It's just $60, guys. It's just 60. And your character, it'll unlock a new skin for your character. Like, they know how attached people can get to their favorite characters, and they know. and they purposely nerfed their characters because like was it I heard that there's like a whole upgrade system where it didn't take that much to get to certain levels with the characters, but then when the gamers, not gamers, when the devs realized that people were actually, upgrading the characters pretty fast, they're like, nope. They saw it as a monetary value, so they're like, we're just gonna nerf it,
Yeah, because of course, right?
and then you can just pay to upgrade it. And yeah, pay to win, guys. Pay to win. Ah! Knocked my camera over. Anyways, yeah, it's very bad. That's why I'm like really glad that we're actually seeing a change. Oh god, I'm sneeze. I'm a sneeze. I feel like sneezing. Uh, it's just, and okay, it's not only that they're going after microtransactions, they are so detailed in the law form, like in the documentation, they are so very specific on what is a microtransaction, and what is considered like gambling, and what is, like, they go into detail. So there's no shadow of a doubt that what games have been doing the last couple of years is gambling, is microtransactions that people do not like. They want it removed. I wouldn't say they want it removed. They want it not available to children. That's what it's mainly aiming at. They want it to get it out of like.
I want to get it out of everything.
I mean,
Like
yeah. I mean,
it's
to
just
be perfectly honest,
it's just vile.
that's why they're saying that if you have microtransactions in the game, you have to blatantly state you have microtransactions in the game. If you don't say that you have microtransactions in the game and you do, you are going to get heavily fined. And it's not little tiny bucks, it's big bucks. The gaming company is going to be fined many big bucks because they obviously false advertised that they didn't have microtransactions in the game when they freaking did. That's why they were very specific in their documentation on what microtransactions are, because they know they're gonna do, try to find a loophole to get around it. But yeah, they're like, I really appreciate it that, and it took years. I knew that it was gonna be a while before we saw any type of result. I'm just so glad that we're actually seeing something happen. It is so great. I'm so happy. It feels like the industry is healing. That's what it feels like. It feels like a ray of sunshine is shining on us, guys. Bask in it. We're actually seeing change now. It's a long time coming. It was a long time coming. Like game developers. I keep trying to say gamers. Game developers, the people who make games that we love to consume. They're slowly, or at least the game companies, are trying to backtrack on their whole DEI stuff and forcing narratives into the gaming sphere and telling gamers what they should want and stuff. They're rolling that stuff back because they realize, oh, that doesn't actually sell games. That actually makes your consumers hate you. So they're rolling that stuff back, and then you have Europe pushing out these new laws that I can only hope America will soon adopt. Like, you love to see it. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. Apparently, also, on another note, apparently Game Informer is back, and so it's an entire team. A gaming journalism stalwart, Game Informer, has risen from the ashes. I don't know what that's about.
I've heard this. I don't know if it's necessarily true. I wonder where they've gotten their investment money from, and I wonder what they're going to tell them when they run out of investment money.
Oof.
Lols.
The media outlet was officially shut down by parent company GameStop. Oh. In August 2024. Since then, the rights to Game Informer were acquired by Gunzilla Games, and in all too rare win for today's media world, the entire team that worked for Game Informer at the time of its closure will return to their jobs. Wait, so it's the same people? Oh, it's the same people of Game Informer. Wait, was
Mhm.
Game Informer part of the problem?
I don't. That is a good question. I mean, obviously, the problem is in general is that way too many people in the games media slash journalistic field, they all say the exact same thing. They don't really have unique or different opinions. They fall into line very very quickly, with the exception of like a handful of characters or people or things, people saying different things. It's very much it's one of the reasons why you don't see like big places, institutions like IGN. They never give anything lower than like, I think, like a 5. Like the 5 is the absolute floor on any game at all ever, like out of 10. Like, so stuff like that, obviously they're shilling for companies that they want to like cultivate like some insider sources with in order to like get their articles out there, in order to get early access to video games, and then like control that kind of like speech, and then they use it for like other things. It's just a mess. I don't think it can be saved at this point. I really don't think it can be saved. There was
So,
never any journalistic integrity ever in any of this stuff. We sent requests off to journalistic fields, going, "Hey, just there's this thing going on," and they replied with like, "Yeah, we're not going to talk about that story because it's too much of a positive story. It's we're only looking to do negative things against, but not against the people who pay our bills." And as in pay their bills, they meant like the developers on teams, like they're okay with trashing actual players and stomping on them because they don't see them as a cohesive single unit.
the editor-in-chief, Matt Miller, he said the news owners insisted on the idea of Game Informer remaining an independent editorial outlet. They felt just as strongly as our team did that the only path forward was with an editorial group that made 100% of the decisions around what we could cover and how we do so without any influence from them or anyone else. Well, I mean, it sounds nice, but if they're in the same group think, like, are they independent? If you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, oh yeah, game ratings is worthless now. No one takes gaming
Right.
journalism seriously anymore. No one, and then they're like, oh
Nar-
my god,
Narduka.
Gamergate.
Yeah,
And
totally right.
they're like, Gamergate, gamers are harassing the journalists. And it's like, no, you've been harassing us, and you've been spreading lies that games are good when they suck. That's the problem. It's not even real journalism. You've been just paid for shills who just parrot that the game is good, and it's gotten to the point where they've said it so many times that now we know if they say a game is good, we know it's bad. Like, that's how bad it's gotten, guys. Like, we can't even trust gaming journalism anymore. So even if they say they're independent, are they really independent? Like, what are their politics? Are they into politics? Because it's going to affect their views on games, apparently. Like, that's where we've gotten now. We can't have fun games anymore, guys. We gotta issue what our political beliefs and everything. I guess we'll just wait and see. And plus,
Yeah.
didn't you say you weren't sure if it was even true that are they coming back? Is that like definitive?
No. I'm not I'm not. Obviously, they're coming back if they've announced it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long they'll stay cohesive? Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
Like, it's genuinely like, yep, good luck with that.
Okay. The one topic everyone's so excited to bring up again and again. Literally one of the first videos I ever posted on YouTube. The price hikes of games. Everyone loves the topic. I love it so much. Literally the first video on YouTube I ever posted was me complaining of them raising the price from $60 to $70. Remember when games used to be $60, guys? I remember it fondly. Now they're all $70. Now everyone's talking about GTA being the game that raises game prices to 100. And of course, CD Projekt Red, had to weigh in on it because I totally respect their opinion. And if you're new here, that's me being sarcastic because I actually, ever since Cyberpunk 2077, I have a visceral hate of CD Projekt Red. All right, like my hatred knows no bounds. Will GTA 6 raise AAA game prices to $100? CD Projekt Red's co-CEO weighs in because we totally want their opinion on anything. CD Projekt's Mitchell or Michael Nowakowski on $100 games. Sorry, I probably said that name wrong because they're from Poland, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably didn't get the name right. Sorry, I'm horribly American. Our stance is that if the standard price changes for the market, it will work towards our benefit for sure. Oh, the company that took grant money to make to make Cyberpunk 2077 great. They took millions of grant money and they came out with a broken POS. Of course, it would work in their favor to have $100 games. Sorry, I really don't like CDPR right now. I think my hatred is justified. No, go away. Get out of here. I'm trying to read your article for free. Let's see.
Right.
CD Projekt's suggests that while it's speculative, a price increase would benefit the company as future titles like The Witcher 4 and Cyberpunk 2077 sequel could also adopt this pricing. Wow. Yay. Can't wait to pay. That pisses me off so much. You don't understand. I was so hyped for Cyberpunk 2077 that I bought the game 3 times. I bought the game on Xbox, I bought the game on PC, and I bought the game for my sister's boyfriend because he's a gamer and he wanted to play it, and I wanted to give him a gift, and I was like really excited for Cyberpunk, so I bought the game for him. Now imagine me paying $100. $100 3 times, $300 for one game. That's great. Yeah, love that. Only for it to be a broken piece of it. Yep, we love that. Will GTA 6 cost $100 and push game prices to a new MSRP during an economy fraught with rising prices? CD Projekt Red weighs in with a purely opinion answer. What the fuck does that mean? It's just their opinion. Okay, sure. Just 5 years ago, the games industry used the 9th console generation to collective raise software prices. Games went from $59.99 to... I like how they did that. It went from $60 to $70. They're like, no, it went from $59.99, you saved a cent, to $69.99. I love how they're like making it slightly 1 cent cheaper, guys. It makes it a little bit better.
Oh yeah, of course.
A price hike that better reflects the higher cost of games development. Now, sure, okay. Now, sure, that was the reason. Don't fucking lie to me, dude. They're like, oh my god, the economy's so bad, guys. The problem with price hikes is that the prices go up, but the people getting paid doesn't go up. That's the problem. People can't afford this. When the prices go up, but what you make doesn't go up, you can't afford anything. Oh, the price hikes because of the economy. Well, if it was to affect the economy, wouldn't our payments be risen as well to offset the economy rising, to be able to afford things? No, you're just raising the prices because you want more money from us. Don't freaking lie to me. It's like, now amid a downturn which is driven by a course correction of overspending and bad bets placed during COVID-19, it's speculated that GTA 6's release could be used to deliver another price hike, of course. Because we're such an economic turmoil that technically we could do it now, but we're waiting for one game to come out first, and we're waiting to see if they do it before we hike it up. Doesn't that sound weird? If it's such a problem, why aren't you doing it now? Why are you waiting for one specific game?
Lazy Clay Gamer, I don't know if tariffs are included in this stuff. Very few.
They were talking about this before the.
Yeah, they've been talking about this they've been talking about this forever. B, I don't think video games actually are included in the tariff lists.
It's the hardware.
Because
it's the hardware for PCs.
Yeah, some of the hardware is going to get tariffed for sure. But those will probably be dropped. Like I don't think those will actually
Yeah, they're guys, don't worry. Like the tariffs are just like a temporary thing. It's not going to last forever. It's just going to be a while. But
they're also reciprocal. So like if with a handful of exceptions, they're mostly reciprocal.
I mean, China raised their tariffs, which
yeah. So it's like in my country, in Canada, we tariff American dairy products at like something as stupid as like 300 to 400%. You cannot sell milk here from the States, and milk here is more expensive than in most other places in the world because, well, we only have one body that sells milk to us, essentially. Like it's all owned and run by the same people, essentially. So we don't have there's not really like great competition. Like you're paying a lot of money for milk products and or cheeses and stuff like that. It's very expensive. And a lot of it is just a lot of what's not manufactured, a lot of what's made or harvested, I should say, is actually ends up getting destroyed because of how much waste there is and how much like they're not willing to sell on a dime, right? Like they're trying to like make the ultimate buck, and that's just kind of how that goes, and it's terrible.
Yeah, it's just at this point they're just grasping at excuses to make you pay more money. They don't care about the state of the economy. They don't care about your wallets drying out. They just want more money from you. That's it. That is just plain and simple. I'm getting so tired of them using like, was it big words in order to convince people that you have to pay these high prices. No, technically, I keep making this point, but I feel like not a lot of people probably know this. Games are not worth $60. They are not worth $60, and they're not worth $100. Back in the day, the reason why game prices were the way that they were was because they had physical copies. They had the software downloaded onto, like, technically you could download it on PC, but they also had physical copies that you had to pay for. Manufacturing the physical copies actually costed more. In fact, it became an issue, allegedly, so much of an issue that gaming companies were like, guys, physical copies, they're so expensive. We're gonna stop making physical copies because they're so expensive to make. Okay, if they're so expensive to make, why haven't the prices of games gone down? In fact, they've gone up. Why?
Yeah, it's almost as if that's a cop-out. Yeah.
I'm just saying that it has been years of them lying about game prices for a while. This has been an issue for many, many years. Many, many years. They are looking for an excuse to raise it even more. That's why I keep saying, why are they waiting for one game to come out? It has been years. How long has it been since GTA 6 came out? It's been a couple of years. It's been like 1 or 2 years. Heck, GTA 6 could wait one more year. wait one more year. Why aren't they raising the prices now? Why are they waiting for one specific game to come out? Because they want an excuse to raise the price. That's why. Do not fall for any of their BSery. If they were really in turmoil, they would have priced games at 100 by now already. No, they're scared. They know what's going to happen the moment that they put that price tag on it. They're just waiting for an excuse. It's just so... It makes me livid. It makes me livid. In fact, most of the stuff that comes out isn't even worth $70, dude. It's not even worth $70. It's all broken. It's all... The voice acting sucks. The gameplay isn't fun. It is uninteresting storytelling. Why do we have to pay $100? It's not worth it. What the heck? No one's gonna pay for that. I say that, but some people, the tiny 1%, the 0.1%, buy $200 worth of pre-orders. There are people who freaking pay for that stuff. I really wish they didn't exist, but they do. No games are $70 if you have self-respect enough to wait for a large sale. It's not worth $30, dude. It has gotten so bad, and it makes me mad because it's so obviously greed that they keep doing this. Like, it's not... If they actually had a good reason, it wouldn't bother me this much. But I can tell that they're not going to stop. Soon it's going to be $100. Soon it's going to be... I said this in my video. I said soon they push 60 to 70, and then 70 is going to be 80, and then 80 is going to be 90, then it's going to be 100. Then there's going to be 110, 120, 130. It just keeps going and going and going, and it never freaking stops. Unless someone does something about it by not paying for it. But, you know, vote with your wallets, as they say. Which actually does work, which we're seeing now because there's a lot of decline in the AAA industry because people don't want to pay for slop games anymore. But we already see that the pricing is rising because of Nintendo. If anyone was privy to Nintendo's, was it a showcase? I don't know, whatever. They were showing their new stuff coming out of Nintendo. I'm not really a big fan of Nintendo. I don't really play their games. But I did grow up with a Nintendo 64, but I haven't played Nintendo in many, many years. And honestly, some of the... Oh, sorry.
I think Ash had an overall positive view on everything so far.
I mean,
it's a tricky one.
I've heard things. I've heard things. Speaking of pricing, Nintendo was coming out with all these cool games, cool features, cool stuff. You're like, yay! Then we get to the pricing. They want $80 for Switch games. And I want you guys to know, Switch games comes in little tiny cartridges. How is it fucking $80? How is it $80? How is it $80 in these tiny little chip things? How is it $80, guys? It's just plastic and bits of metal. How is it $80? They're tiny. They're tiny too. They're small. They're not even like Nintendo 64 size. They're like cartridges. They're like tiny little chip thingies. And you have to pay $80 for that? And then they said that the Switch 2 is how much? $500? $500? And what was the first Switch? Wasn't it like 300? Maybe slightly closer to 400? What are these prices? And these are in USD, might I add. These are in American bucks, all right? These aren't in Canadian. These aren't in pounds, English pounds. This is American. I can only imagine what the currency is in other countries. Like, so it's like, okay, so you buy a Switch 2, which is like $500, okay? That's $500. Then you want one game. Okay, it's $80. Okay, that's $600. Okay, okay. Oh, that's a lot. That's getting dangerously close to 1,000. Okay. Now there's a demo that comes in with the Switch 2. So it's not just one game in the Switch 2. Okay, you have a demo in the game in the console. Awesome. You have to pay for that. You have to pay for a demo that is available already on the Switch 2. Okay. Where are we going from here, Seb? Where are we going? Wait,
I don't know, like, with families who are like under the pressure of economy and stuff like that. I don't know why Nintendo is trying to charge them more. And again, it why they are still not offering older games for cheap on the PC is still just I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
it's
I really don't get it. I really don't get it.
you know,
So we did miss talking about April Fools last week. There were some funny April Fools stuff. I know some people hate it, but one of them was exceptionally hilarious. I just want to read this one to you. Razer came out with this Skibidi headset. Uh, the Skibidi headset is the world's first intelligent brain rot translator headset
oh my god.
to assist you with understanding all of the Gen Z lingo that you've encountered in the lobbies and voice chats of today. With fleshed out web page detailing its features, you can even test the toggle on and off to get real time examples of all the text page being translated into your brain rot slang. I thought that was hilarious. Uh,
Yeah, cuz dude, I've been
Max Riz,
for
so hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna tell a few more of these because this
okay,
is
I,
really
I was
funny.
just gonna say that like I would need something like that because some people have been posting brain rot uh memes
Memes,
and I'm like
yeah,
I don't understand this. I probably need it to understand and go hee hee ha ha. But continue, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So, Crafton has announced that they're doing a new dating simulator experience in the PUBG universe,
Oh
where
my.
all of your favorite firearms turn into girls.
Heck yeah, we already got that. It's called Girls
This
Grand
is
Line or some front line or something.
Yeah, yeah, this is genuinely actually really cool, like a really cool idea. And if they actually came out with this game, I bet you it would sell. I
Honestly,
think it would
yes.
sell pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, Palworld has announced a long-awaited Palworld visual novel dating sim that lets you interact with various characters and pals from the game. That appears all bright and colorful and fun. Some of the pals seem to be a little jealous. Wait, why are you holding a knife? Yeah, that again, hilarious on like 20 different levels of awesome. I wish they would do this in real life. This would make so much fun. So yeah, and there were a lot of other ones, but I thought those ones were pretty cool. Yeah, that comes from the IGN article on the subject matter.
Nice.
Hmm.
Uh, I love it when the gaming community bees like can actually be fun sometimes, instead of grim dark. Uh
Yeah.
oh yeah, going back
All right,
slightly,
and
going
then
back. Oh, sorry, was there more?
oh no 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 keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, for the Wizards of the Coast, apologizing for the DMC takedown of that mod. They said it was a mistake. They didn't mean to do that. And it's like, right,
Yeah
right. Wizard
yeah
of the Coast, who are very possessive of their IP. They're as bad as Nintendo when it comes to copyright shit, is copyright stuff. So, right, of course.
yeah. And then we've got the actual main subject today, which we're just now getting to. Marvel Rivals.
Oh yeah, the main top,
is
the main topic.
Marvel Rivals has put out a new character, Emma Frost, who has an alternate skin that is, well, let's just say I can see her sternum and then all the way down to her belly button, and there ain't nothing there, and for a good distance on either side too. So yeah, if you're a person of culture, then you're probably gonna like that quite a bit. If you're not, then you're a party pooper.
Dude, her thighs, her thighs jiggle. Her thighs jiggle.
Yeah, her thighs jiggle. Yeah, they've
She
got
has
jiggle
jiggle
physics on the
physics.
thighs.
And
And
I'm
not
gonna
just
read to
anywhere
you.
on not just anywhere on the thighs, on the inner thighs.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna hold on. I'm going to read to you what I caught from the trailer of her voice lines, if I can find it. Oh God, everyone posted a lot in here. Oh wait, did I pass it? Toot 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 toot. Everyone be posting a lot of stuff in gaming. E e e e e. Oh yeah, there was like censorship going on with
There's always censorship going
Far
on.
Cry 4, and I didn't know that. I was like, what?
People are absolutely mental to be doing this.
Oh my God, you guys posted so much. Okay, I finally found it. Okay, some points I got from watching a little bit of a trailer. Her thighs jiggle. That was very important for me to point out. Some of her voice lines. Quote, "You're beneath me." Quote, "Pathetic." Quote, "How embarrassing." Quote, "Kneel, peasants." She's definitely for a certain demographic. I'm just saying. One of her
Yeah,
attacks is a chokehold. Yeah. She's and those are only some of her voice lines. There's other voice lines that she's very very nice with. She's turning me into a Yuri fan. I was not expecting this. I was expecting to be a Yaoi fan for the rest of my life. I wasn't expecting, to like, realize the benefits of, ladies.
Oh, you don't say,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
That's hilarious, honestly. That's very funny.
It's great. It's great. It's great. We love to see it. We love to see it. But of course, sorry, I got lost in reminiscence. Anyways, I was looking
You got
at
lost looking at her thighs.
so
It's
the
very funny.
problem, guys, is that
Mm-hmm.
she too damn hot. She too damn pretty.
Yeah. Lots of people who I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that they have never actually played this game or any other games ever. Seems that most of them
Oh,
are
they're
really
not.
angry about this.
Oh, they're not even fans of the comics. Did you know she was in a comic before she came into the game? Before she went on to Rule 34?
And she does tend to dress like that as much as she can. In fact, I remember a recent version of the series that had her in just underwear.
Oh wow, yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of weird. In one of the big blockbuster movies, and she was fairly well liked in that series, a little bit, sort of, for the most part. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Now, there's a lot of discourse going on with Emma Frost because everyone's like, "Oh, you're sexualizing women again, you filthy gamers." It's the male. They're dressing her in the male gaze. In the comics, she's a smexy lady, yeah, but that's because she's empowered and she's using it to empower herself. But when you guys do it, it's the male gaze, you filthy gooners. And it's like, that's the point. That's literally the point of her character, is that she wants the male gaze on her so that she has an advantage over them, because guys think with their D's. It's still empowerment to Emma Frost, because she knows she looks good. She knows she looks smexy. She knows that. That's why she uses it to her advantage. That's the whole point, dude. That is the whole point. Literally, that's the whole point. It's just, we keep doing this song and dance, dude. We keep doing this. It's just the same song and dance with people are like, you're making the lady too hot. You need to not make her hot. She's still hot even without her belly showing. And it's like, I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Emma Frost is still a beautiful lady even without her belly showing. But she purposely dresses like that for a reason. That's literally a staple of her character. She's a femme fatale.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shocking how people don't understand this. It's very shocking. Yeah.
Smex is fun. They just hate fun. It's just I think they just are just upset. They're just upset. Oh, also they're like, why did they make Emma Frost like thick? And it's like, oh, I thought it was okay for women to be a little chubby. I thought it was okay for a little jiggle here and there. Why is it suddenly an issue? Oh, is it an issue because Emma Frost is hot? Is that the issue? And they're ugly, therefore no one else can be hot. Yeah, pretty much. That's where it's getting at, because I was like, why can't we just enjoy this? Why can't we just enjoy this? Why can't the LGBTQ plus people, why can't they enjoy this? You know, they can enjoy this too. We can enjoy this too. Everyone can enjoy this. Why is this such an issue? Oh, but it's disgusting because it's the male gaze. This is the same song and dance. It's the same song and dance. They can't fathom that women can actually look beautiful and gorgeous. And yeah, it's probably because they're insecure of themselves, so they get triggered and stuff. Like, the character is not real, guys. She's not real. She can't hurt you. She's not real. Like, you're making this a bigger issue than it needs to be. She's not a real lady, all right? She's not real. I don't know why. I was like, I don't know why we keep having this type of conversation, but it's like, it's because it's never gonna end. There's always gonna be people who don't like how women look. They're always gonna have an issue. If a character is attractive, they'll be like, oh, that's not realistic, even though it is realistic. There are women out there who do look like that. It's just, they just don't want to admit that they look ugly. It's just, that's all I can point it to. What do you think the reason is, Sai? If you think there's any other reason for them to be mad about this?
Well, so I think there is a dedicated war on beauty. And of course there's extremes of that, and I think like I go into pretty like deep detail through my book series. It's not released yet, but we're working on it. It's coming along great. It really is coming along great. I'm really excited to like finally get it out there when we can, which is going to be in probably like later this year. If you do want to read it like sooner, if you want to join our beta readers, just let me know. But I talk about beauty and the standards for like modesty and stuff like that in the book series fairly frequently, because censorship and control, it doesn't work. The problems everywhere in society that people have espoused or dumped onto this topic, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what you do as far as control goes. Control just never works. So you have to embrace non-control. Like that's just the way it has to be. If you want any form of like actual genuine equality, it's like you can set up like a social contract, sure, but and you can set up norms, but you can't try to hard control them, because if you do, you just end up in a tailspin in one direction that in many different directions, all of them will lead you flying into the side of a mountain. It just doesn't work. And so when people are complaining about this, it's like, yeah, no, like what do you want? Oh, you want the stuff that was in Concord? You want the ugly, disgusting looking characters in Concord that don't look like any form of like attraction. I know attraction's in the eye of the beholder, and sure, there was a handful of people, I think 3 of them, that found some of those characters attractive. But it's just a matter of like this is not a war you're gonna win. And it's fantasy. It's like, can you go too far on it? Of course you can go too far. You can go too far on everything. But you can't try to mandate it. It's not like, it's not like some of the other vices that you try and mandate. It's like yeah, it just doesn't work. Like cultures could exist in multiple different patterns with like when it comes to this kind of stuff. And if you try and control it, well, you might just end up like Japan and have 10% of your entire GDP dedicated to the more extreme side of this kind of content. If you catch my meaning.
The reason
Which
why
I know you are very well aware of all of this stuff. So don't get me started.
want to get into the history of how hentai got so weird. Do you guys want to know?
Like,
Guess what? It's because of censorship. It's because of censorship. It got so weird because of censorship. They weren't allowed to show certain things, so artists got around it. I'm just saying.
Gonna kill us if we talk too much about this.
I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm just saying that they found ways to go around it, and now it's just weird. Now it's just weird, but blame censorship. Always censorship.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm kind of glad. Have we strayed that far side to be like? We've come up with ways to get around it. I don't think so. I don't think it's not on our part. We haven't done that, but it hasn't.
It's one of those things that there are issues here, obviously.
Yeah. Narlucha actually makes a good point. Women appreciate beauty too. It's very sexist that only the male gaze can appreciate a nice butt. Yeah. Literally, it's statistically proven that women prefer beautiful women over ugly women.
Did I lose you?
Did you?
Am I still here?
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Okay, sorry.
I can hear you again. Yeah.
Sorry. I was just saying that it has been statistically proven that women prefer female gamers prefer beautiful women over ugly women. It has been statistically proven. So, yeah, it's very... very everyone can appreciate a gorgeous woman. It's not just men. It's also women. And why are we forgetting about the lesbians and the gays? We can appreciate stuff, guys, and the bisexuals. Sorry, we can't forget the bisexual. There's bisexual rage going on, but we do not forget the bisexuals. They exist. So it's like everyone can appreciate everything. We can do that, guys. We can do that together. We can come together. Giggity. Anyways. Nintendo. I know we already talked about Nintendo, but that was the showcase. But Nintendo's back at it again with freaking patents and lawsuits for Palworld. Yay! Isn't that great, guys? Isn't that great? It's great, right? It's good for the industry, right? A new report has revealed that Nintendo has acquired a third anti-Palworld patent, and a fourth one is almost about to be granted. I like how they're coming up with patents after the game's already released. This stuff wasn't even... They didn't even have the patents before the game. What are the patents now? Is it getting on a horse mount? Because they tried saying that's a patent. According to a report by GameSpray, Nintendo now has 3 anti-Palworld patents. The first 2 mentioned in an earlier report. The latest one was granted on March 11th, 2025. It concerns smooth switching between flying and land traversal objects. What? You are patenting? It concerns smooth switching between flying and land traversal. What is that? Objects. So gliding in games. You're patenting gliding in games. That's not a Nintendo specific feature. That's not a Nintendo specific feature. It's literally in Far Cry. You can glide in Far Cry. You can glide in other games. You can mount horses in other games. What do Nintendo's anti-Palworld patents mean for Pocket Pair? Nintendo will soon have 4 anti-Palworld patents in the United States, which would mean a lawsuit could be filed against Pocket Pair soon. Again, yay! You do realize that they didn't win the patents lawsuit, except maybe for one about the balls. For those of you who don't know, the Pokeball thing, I think
did they lose some of those? Really? That's
they
like
had
they've never
40.
lost. They've never lost one.
They had 40. No, look, the whole I can't say memo. The whole strategy that Nintendo has is that they sue the people for copyright infringement. They don't have to win. They just want to stack the opposing company so much in court debt that they go under and they lose. They lose in the way that like they can't make games anymore.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
Nintendo's approach to everything.
They just, as of the 6th, nothing has come out like concretely.
Yeah, most of it's just like just constant court procedures to the point where they can't afford it anymore. That is their strategy. They don't have to win. They just want them to lose so much money that they can't make any more games that rival them.
Yeah, the
God, I love Nintendo so much.
One of the big lawsuits is riding creatures in an open world and transitioning between them. They cannot win that. They cannot win that.
The first lawsuit,
if they win that, that's it for like video gaming. Like, just Nintendo's gonna copyright absolutely everything, and they're just gonna attack everybody at wholesale.
The first lawsuit,
disgusting.
I didn't know this side. The first lawsuit that Pocket Pair received from Nintendo was 44 copyright patent infringements. 44 or 40 or 44, around there. It was a big number. I was like, what the freak? Or was it 25? I can't remember. It was way more than I was expecting. I was like, what the hell? They lost all of them except one, which was the Pokeballs. Like, Nintendo was like, oh, they're throwing balls that's similar to Pokeballs. That one, I think that one was the only one that won because, like, yeah, it's like a little too similar. So it's like they had to change that.
Nothing has won or lost so far, though. Like, it's all still up in the air as of like today. So
I thought I did.
No, everything is still up in the air. The case has not been settled in any one particular thing.
So it's still ongoing, and they're adding more to the evidence.
Yes.
They can't. This is all okay. So obviously, the patents that they're dishing out are BS. It's all BS because literally every other game has these patents, like these mechanics in their game. So this makes no sense.
They've been around forever. This is absolutely vile.
They are literally the reason why Pocket Pair is actually putting up a fight is because they can afford to. Palworld is like, is it an indie studio? I believe it is, right?
Yeah,
Pocket
it's pretty
Pair's
small.
Pocket Pair is an indie studio, and they released a game that people have been expecting. They wanted something like this. They wanted more of a like mature kind of adult humor take of Pokemon. But Nintendo is so family friendly. There was no way that they would have done something like this. So of course, another company is going to take advantage of that kind of market because there's a demand for it. There's a demand for it. Nintendo's not fulfilling it, so another company will fulfill it. And they sold about 20 million copies, or did they make 20 million off of selling Palworld? They made a lot of money off of it. And you would not believe the backlash that they got for being so successful. And you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that. AAA companies are so desperate to say that they're not selling you slop that they will drag successful indie games through the mud. So you know a game's good when journalists say this game is bad for you. This game is copywriting Nintendo instead of. Oh, that means it's a good game. I should probably play it. That's what I'm taking from this.
No, it's a great game.
Yeah, I'm having fun. I just figured out how to breed pals. So yeah.
Wow. Well, I had no idea you were into that. Well, that's interesting. Now, how much time does it take your character to like regenerate from between?
No, that's not what I mean. Oh,
I'm
don't even
just
get
kidding.
don't get
That
me
was very
started.
funny.
Don't get me started. We breeding chat. No, come on, cutie. We're not breeding chat. Unless you want to. Anyways, ignore I said that. Anyways, but like they actually came out with a dating sim, and I was complaining on the last stream. I was like, why is it that we can in the dating sim we can date the pals? Why aren't we dating the human trainers in Palworld? Why aren't we? If you have a dating sim, there's attractive humans in Palworld. Why aren't we dating them? No, they're all pals. And I'm like, why are we dating the pals? They're not even cute. Like, yeah, there's like some smexy female pals, but the male pals on the females who are more inclined to the male attraction. We're kind of getting forked here because the male options aren't even attractive. You got the ugly, creepy black market NPC guy who sells you stuff, and he's like really creepy. And then there's the cute little weasel thing, but he's cute. He's not. I wouldn't date him. But then there's also the big bird dragon dude that you can romance, and I'm like, he's cute too, but they're just cute. They're not. I won't say attractive. Like, they're just cute. They're not attractive. But then on the female side, you get all these smexy pals, right? You get all these smexy female pals, right? You get the smexy lizard lady, and you get the smexy cat lady, and then you get the cute. You get the cute. Only the girls get the the cute human NPCs in Palworld. It's only the girls who get the cute ones. You get a smexy human nurse with bib booba, all right? She got bib booba. And then you have the cute black and pink haired chick from Palworld. You get to date her in this, and I'm like, why are the males getting no love here? Because I feel like we're getting, as a woman who is more inclined to the male persuasion, why is, like, I feel like we're not getting catered to, and I feel discriminated against. All men are ugly, duh. Like, I feel
This
like
is true. This is a very valid thing. I don't know if you've seen a man
that is
recently,
such
but
a lie. That is such a lie. I've seen so many attractive male characters in Palworld. There's the bearded man. There's that hot bearded man dude in Palworld. There's the brown haired one, not the guy who's like looks like Santa Claus. I'm talking about the guy who's like brown and whitish silver hair. He's hot. And then there's the dude with the covering over his eyes. He's hot. And then like where are they at? Where are they at? Why do I get the fat, ugly, fucking creepy black market dude? Why is he the only human male NPC that I can date? Like, what is going on here? It's definitely towards a certain demographic. I'm just saying. It's true, I am attractive. I knew it. It's okay, Narlucha. Good lord, I can't speak. It's okay, Narlucha, I believe you. Wait, evidence? Oh yeah, because I said evidence earlier. They're collecting evidence with the patents for Nintendo. And they should make an example of these Nintendo a-holes. Yeah. Cause like
I pray that they not only get laughed out of court for all of this stuff, they get hit with the deepest like counter fines
you know,
that they can. And then
did you
I hope that every person, every solid gamer in the world mocks them relentlessly for years
did
on
you
this stuff.
did you know that there is a blacklist to court suing? People can get blacklisted from suing. Did you know that?
In some
Because
places, yeah.
because it has become such an like I heard of a story of a serial suer. They would just go around suing people randomly for random things, and it gotten so bad to the point they were like, we're gonna put you on a special list where if you try to sue someone, the court's not gonna hear it at all because you just sue people for random stuff with no real backing behind it at all ever. So it's obviously someone who tries to game the system. So they're like, we're putting you on a special list. I didn't know this list existed, but apparently it exists. So I'm thinking that Nintendo, if they keep on with their BSery, they're going to end up on the list. Like,
I don't
we're
think
not
they will because
I
they're
know they're a
such a
big,
powerful
yeah,
company.
they're a giant company,
Yeah.
millions of dollars. But it would be funny though that they're trying so hard to sue that they'll be like put on a special list where like if you try to sue anyone in America again, we're not gonna listen to you because you keep suing everybody. I can only dream though. But yeah, was there any?
I've got to look this up now. This is a funny stat. Okay, let me see here if I can. Okay.
That would make a lot of YouTubers happy. Good lord, it'd make a lot of people happy. Actually, it would actually make a lot of YouTubers sad because then they wouldn't make content on Nintendo anymore. They'd be like, no, Nintendo. You're not suing anyone anymore in America? No.
So the construction of the Eiffel Tower was done in the same year that Nintendo was founded. The construction of the Eiffel Tower is the first time we as humans built a bigger object than the pyramids some 5,500 years prior. And possibly with some of the new information coming out, maybe tack an extra 10,000 onto that number. I don't know. It's crazy.
Because was it Nintendo started as a card company, right?
Yeah.
Like a card, like they made cards back in the ye old days, and then they got into like more technical stuff. But yeah, they would be able to make content on their games though. I mean, true. Yeah, that's true. That just reminded me that like France said that they wanted to take back the Statue of Liberty. I don't know why that reminded me of that. I was like, what? That was such a
I
dumb
don't.
statement.
I don't know if
No,
that's
that was
serious.
no, that wasn't serious. It was just one French
Oh,
politician
okay.
who was just butthurt, and they were like, "We're gonna,"
Just being a jack.
yeah, just being dramatic. That's why I'm like, what's going on with France? Why is weird stuff's coming out of France? I don't know what's going on. Uh, America hasn't exactly been awesome lately. Yeah, 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 yeah.
We'll see. I think that it's
We're just here for the show at this point. Like we're just waiting to see
yeah.
what's gonna happen next. Grab your popcorn, guys. It's gonna be a ride.
Like I am not a fan of slave labor at all. Like
Yeah.
not even in the slightest. And one of the things that keeps slave labor in business is when
Oh, I see where you're
people
going.
send off their not their workers, send off their manufacturing to places that employ slave labor.
Uh,
And this is not good. Obviously, if you're a studier of history, you know that as long as people are in a bind, they don't typically the majority of the people that are slaves today, which by the way, there's more slaves today than there was at any point in history, as far as we know. Um, you're it's such a problem because like you're not going to be able to fight against this stuff so long as it doesn't get absolutely crushed, and it won't get absolutely crushed because so long as people are making the bare minimum basics to survive, they're not willing to push against the the oligarchical control that's led them to this situation. So yeah,
I
that's
mean,
my big
I
political
mean, it's
rant
still,
today
it's still
I
technically in
want
line.
slave labor to end, even if that means
I
that
mean,
there has to be a bunch of like countries that you get a whole bunch of like political uprisings in, and a lot of um putting slavers to the to the wall, I suppose is the only way I can say that.
I mean,
Because yeah, that's what you do with people who enslave other people. Sorry.
no,
Yeah.
it's still in line with gaming because it came out recently that most AAA games actually outsource
Yeah,
their.
outsource a lot of their worst stuff to other people. It's terrible.
That's why most of the quality of games have gone down so drastically recently. It's because they just outsource it. And I'm like,
Hmm.
so do they even make games anymore? Like, because they keep outsourcing it. And then they said that
Yeah.
some games have like hour-long credits, and then recently, wait, they said that Assassin's Creed Shadow had like a 2 hour-long credits after when the game's finished because they kept outsourcing it, and no wonder because it freaking sucks. Which
Hmm.
is, like I said, it's very frustrating because Assassin's Creed Shadows obviously had some good ideas here and there. It's just, it's just I'm pretty sure like in inner company politics got in the way and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. Like, uh, but yeah, like I can't believe how bad. I can't believe how bad it's gotten. Like, but it seems like we're making a turnaround. I don't know about the outsourcing. Maybe the reason why people outsource is usually because they want to save money, and so they go for cheaper labor. And it's like, then who's making the games if not your devs that you hire to make your games? That's my question. Like, it doesn't really make doesn't the numbers don't add up. Batman, the numbers don't add up. Oh, speaking of, did you know that Superman and Batman are actually gonna be in the public domain in a couple years? God, I can't believe it's
Yep.
been 100 years.
No, it's getting there. There's a bunch of them. Like we're gonna see over the next 50 years. Like it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens.
Oh yeah, I was actually really excited because Sherlock Holmes was released into public domain, so I can't wait to see what people come out with that.
Oh, hasn't it been for a while?
Oh
I
yeah,
seem to recall that it's been.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
good
because you
couple
had
years.
so you had Sherlock, you had Elementary, you had
Hmm,
the
hmm.
Sherlock Holmes series with Iron Man in it, and just genuinely like I like Sherlock. I really like the Elementary take. Like it's really good.
Yeah, I
I,
liked.
I need to find somebody who wants to watch that series with me because it's
I
really good.
yeah. I was watching Elementary and BBC Sherlock like
At the same
around the
time,
yeah at the same time because uh I was
it's
such
very
a
funny.
I will watch it. Yeah, they're pretty good. Because obviously Elementary had way more episodes coming out, but in between the years, okay, so when BBC Sherlock came out, it was like was it three or four episodes to one series, quote unquote, but in America we call them seasons, but in Britain they call them series. I don't know why they do that. Anyways, but the first season came out and it took like 2 to 3 years for the second season to come out. And so like during that time I was just watching Elementary. I don't know if Elementary came out between the first and second season. I think it came out maybe around the second to third season. That was when Elementary was coming out. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about the timeline, but it definitely like, filled the void in between there. But yeah, I like Sherlock. I like Sherlock Holmes. I like detectives.
Yeah,
It,
no, it's good. I've always enjoyed that stuff. I wish I could. I do wish I could write something a little bit more like into that category at some level. But yeah,
mm, mm.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Honestly, I guess it's okay for me to talk about it a little bit. Don't get your hopes up. I'm just talking about it a little bit, but I'm trying to come up with a storyline for a detective-ish game. Like you play as a detective, but you know, you get into some shenanigans. And I'm starting to come out with, at least the first chapter. I'm working on it. I'm just saying don't it's going to probably take me a couple years to actually finish it, but I
You want to do a visual novel, or you want to do like more of an RPG type thing?
more of a text RPG, like an interactive novel where you
Yeah,
just like you can
visual novels are really easy to make these days. I've had I've had a few ideas on visual novels for a while, and I've been thinking about making them. But yeah, could be interesting.
yeah. But yeah, it's just yeah. I'm excited, so I'm just still working on it. Don't expect anything. I just wanted to put that out there because I'm excited for it. But yeah, just doing that bit. Is there anything you want to say, Simon? Anything to add?
No, not today. It's been a long topic today, and
Yeah.
there's like we're getting out this new episode. We ran into some hiccups with this first authors podcast. The funny hiccups. Yeah. Turns out that not all music that says royalty free,
Is
please
royalty free?
use in you is royalty free.
Yeah.
Turns out people will lie.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's how they get you.
very annoyed with that. Not a happy camper,
Yeah.
but oh well, what can you do
Yeah.
other than live and learn? But at least we didn't put it up and then I have to take it down. It was like Ash does a really good job in like testing everything, double checking everything. Then he finds it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, well this is not going to work. We're gonna have to find something else." So yeah, so that worked. That's good.
That's good. I think that's everything. I hope everyone has a good day or night wherever you're at. We really appreciate you guys being here with us. This is the first dual stream that we did. I figured out how to dual stream and I wanted to test it out. And I'm sorry for the technical hiccup starting out, but I should have expected it.
That's fine.
Yeah, this is the first time we started doing this, so hopefully we can start doing that more often. But yeah, it is done. What's done is done. We can't fix the past. We can only move forward to the future. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate every single one of you. All of our info Follow us on any other social media down below. Well, down below on the YouTube side. On Twitch, if you want to follow my socials, it's connected to the Twitch stuff. And that's it. Sorry. But yeah, like, check it out. On the Triple S League YouTube channel, you can find everything in the description of the live streams. But yeah, hope you guys have a good one. See you guys next time. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Goodbye.